Hey lovelies, Lisa here with another hashtag 78 days, and today we're moving into the second suit to talk about in the Minor Arcana, the suit of Wands, element of fire, association with the night. So we'll talk a little bit more about that today. And you know, is it wands, is it batons? Wands is like a 19th century designation. I think probably originates with the Golden Dawn and brings forward all the witchy kind of magic associations, but you know, in their origin, this is the suit of polo sticks, right? Going back to the Muslim world and the origination of the four tarot suits in that system. So, you know, is it polo sticks? Is it batons? Is it staffs? Is it rods? Is it wands? I'll talk about it as wands mostly. But before we dive in, I just want to say a word about my singing bowl. So this was a gift to me 15 years ago, a wedding present from a really dear friend, a real mentor of mine. And I love it. I love it. I think she picked it up in Nepal, actually, literally, when she was trekking. So within my Buddhist lineage, it's customary to strike the bell 3 times before a period of sitting practice, and 1 time at the end. I like to strike it for these 78 days videos as just another way to reinforce my deep belief that tarot can be not just a spiritual tool, not just a part of a spiritual practice, but a tool that specifically can help us integrate a mindfulness practice more fully and richly in our lives, a practice that can help us be more embedded and more intimate with each moment, each breath of our lives, with the world as it's unfolding all around us. So, you know, tarot as mindfulness practice, right? But a viewer, Amethysette Rose, I hope I'm saying your name right, dear, commented that the bell was hurting her ears, and I've been experimenting with it. Certainly, my goal is not to cause pain. So if this bell is an irritant in any way, let me know if there are things I can do to use it more skillfully. Let me know below. Okay, wands. So I'm actually a day behind with my videos, and that's really a wandsy kind of dilemma. You know, I'm a person who's had a lifelong relationship, if you will, with melancholy. And with this sense of the doldrums, right? I come from a long line of depressives. We turn the black mood into a real creative art. My people do that. You know, so yesterday I just, it was just like that sense of like, how do I gear up the energy to get her done? So there were a bunch of tasks that I had to do yesterday. I did some of them, couldn't do all of them. You know, that's a very familiar kind of wandsy dilemma. Like, here's my life, I want to get her done, right? So we want, you know, we think about this, at least I do, in a very almost mechanical way. Like, I got to get her done, whatever that means. There's like stuff out there, and I've got to kind of ratchet up the energy from my gut, like all the way up into my hands and my mind, and just like go forward, right? Do my life. Well, that attitude of doing my life kind of puts me in tension with my life. My life is this thing over there that I got to do. My energy is this thing inside, like my belly, and I got to like ratchet it up, right? I got to drink my coffee, get that kundalini rising through caffeine. Do exercise, do yoga, do mindfulness, whatever, like to get that energy going. But the suit of wands actually invites us to imagine a different relationship to that energy, to that will, to that spark of fire. Let me see if I can get the lighting here. To that spark of fire, to that oomph, right? It invites us to notice with the ace that this energy, it doesn't come from within. It's a gift. It comes from the whole world. It comes from a relational quality in our lives. It's not our energy. It's energy that we're harnessing, tapping into, being granted. You know, so sometimes that may feel like the spark of inspiration. And Maggie Stiefvater's wonderful Raven's Prophecy deck, you know, she interprets the whole tarot as a mandala about creativity. And for her, wands are that creative spark that we then harness through, you know, through our minds, through our hearts. But is that sense of inspiration, right? There's a reason why the bards and poets of yore invoked the muse. You know, this recognition that energy is a gift. The deck that I'm focusing on here is, I mean, it's one of my favorites. It's Stuart Kaplan's Tarot Classic. It's a 1974-ish reproduction of an 19th century deck, and the colors are really vibrant and, you know, quite go-go dancer kind of fabulous. Oh, but the light in this room. The morning light is really tricky for filming. My apologies. But these greens and pinks and blues and yellows is a very cheery deck. And although this is vintage, these are not hard to come by and they're not very expensive. They're all over eBay. You can pick up a Tarot Classic for, you know, 30 bucks. So I was saying before, you know, this is the suit of polo sticks, and you see that kind of refinement. I mean, polo is, you know, is a game played on horses. It's a game. I mean, you got to have resources, you got to have culture, you got to have sophistication to play polo. But the traditional Marseille imagery with this, which this deck harnesses, reminds us of the way that refinement that leads to the sort of beautiful, straight, aristocratic-looking wand-like polo stick, baton, staff starts in this rough-hewn way, starts as a branch cut from nature and evolves from there. So again, you know, this isn't something we create full cloth out of our own guts, our own talents. This is something that is given to us, you know, first and foremost through the natural world. You know, notice how the wand, the baton, the staff, the rod, the polo stick, it starts off as a branch that's been cut out of the world, has a relationship to the whole cycle of the seasons, to the harvest, to leaves and buds and fruit. The energy that we gear up to get her done is actually the energy of life. This is life. You know, from seed to harvest, this is life. It's life flowing through us. So, you know, if we're feeling a little lackluster, finding ways, and even finding ways right here, right now, today, to feel, I'm stomping my feet on the ground, to feel our connection to the earth, to feel our connection with our hearts, our lungs, with our breath, with the air, right? To feel that connection. That's the gift of wands, begins there. So can we anchor ourselves in our lives? May your day be a blessed one. I'll come back later today with the next installment, since this is a makeup video from yesterday. So I'll see you all later. And as always, I thank you so much for joining me, and I thank you for your practice, whatever it may be. Take good care.